Hello Booktube, I'm Scott.
I'm Nelle.
We're Gunpowder, Fiction and Plot, and we have a new tag for Tag Tuesday. You know when you see a tag and you think, this is going to be a good one?
Doing it.
We're getting onto it straight away. We're not diddle-daddling around like we are at the start of this video. No.
Diddle-daddling.
Diddle-daddling. Fiddle-fluffing.
You just make shit up, don't you?
I do, yeah. They're words. People use those words all the time. Okay, this is an original tag created by Roz over at Skelly Dandling about the book.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of made-up words.
Yeah. If you don't watch Roz, I just don't understand it anymore. I just, I really think that Roz is a channel that everybody
What Scott is
can
saying
watch.
is, we like Roz, and anyone who disagrees with us is wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's next?
Alright, so this is a tag video about tag videos. How meta.
Yeah.
Okay, so should we get into the questions?
Yep.
Tag firsts. Did you do the Booktube Newbie Tag?
Yep.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. There's more parts to this question though.
Oh.
If not, what was your first tag? Well, that's redundant now. Do you choose to watch the Newbie Tags? I mean, we did
for a bit.
back in the, when we were first, making friends and finding new people. But now, I'm not that interested in it.
I don't... I feel a little bit like the Booktube Newbie Tag was written by a Booktube newbie, and the questions that are asked are not necessarily the questions that I would ask a newbie now that I've been around Booktube for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
It was definitely really good for making new friends when we were still quite new, but once you've seen 100 of them, that's too many.
I think if you're watching the Newbie Tag, what you're watching is you're trying to see whether this is a channel you want to follow, right? It's not, you're not going, ooh.
But they don't know yet. They don't know who they are yet.
Yeah, I think, look, very rarely you get a booktuber that can just do the Newbie Tag and make you laugh and knows exactly what they're doing and they're brilliant.
And they know what their channel's going to be like and what books they're going to talk about and what their format's going to... No one knows that stuff when they first start.
But yeah, I think everybody's figuring stuff out. Are you do Friday reads? Are you do weekly, monthly wraps? Are you going to do...
Are you going to do any of that? Are you going to just ignore all the staples of Booktube and talk shit at random intervals?
Yeah. So I think Booktube Newbie Tags are relatively useless for me. If I want to watch a new channel, I've said it before, but I look for a rap video usually, something to give me an idea of bookish taste, and then anything else that jumps out that this might have a bit of personality in it, or...
Usually if I find a new channel, it's because I've used Booktube to... I'll be looking for a specific book to fill a need, whether that is a book by a person of colour, or I want to read more fat representation, or whatever it is. Booktube is actually my first research tool, so I will sort of hunt around on Booktube for those subjects, and often the videos that get made are not by people who I already watch, so that's usually how I find new people.
And sort of for me, less and less of the newbies I'm watching, or the people that are new that I'm not watching them blind anymore. I'm seeing a comment on somebody else's channel. I'm seeing a comment on our channel. I'm seeing somebody that I trust shout them out, you know. I'm not watching blind, and to be honest, got too many channels.
Yeah, I don't think we're really intentionally searching for people to follow like we used to.
Yeah.
Because we already have quite a few that we love and follow religiously.
Yeah, I can't actually watch all the videos that I want to watch without adding new people in there. But I will add new people in there if I see quality new people. Always be open to that.
But there's not that intensive search that there used to be when we were new.
Yeah. Still, I think I add I think I add a minimum of 1 or 2 channels a week to our subs list.
No wonder we're always watching Booktube.
Yeah. Question 2. Tag emotions. What feelings do tags provoke in you? Tag joy and delight, tag boredom and resentment, tag guilt or anxiety, tag envy. I think that this harks back to, I see a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm so behind with my tags, or they're doing 2 tags at once, or they're like, I'm sorry, I got tagged in this 2 weeks ago and I haven't done it yet.
I definitely don't see it as... I don't really see it as an obligation at all, to be honest. You're the one who keeps track, though, so I have complete release from the guild because I don't even know what tags we've got outstanding, to be fair.
We get tagged a little bit. We probably, if we did 1 tag a week I think that we would be tagged more than that.
Yeah, okay.
So we have to be selective about it.
And I like that we're a bit selective about it. I like that we sort of pick the tags that engender a response in us. And that might be for the moment, like this is the tag that's interesting to us right now, so that's why we're doing this one. And just because something isn't interesting to me, another tag isn't interesting to me this week, doesn't mean it won't be next week.
There are some tags that I know we have and they're ticking over in the back of my mind, and I'll give you an example of this. Kieran tagged us in the ugly book covers tag or something like that by CJ, which, by the way, always makes me think of Reginald Alanthe Perrin from that comedy from the 70s. Somebody will know what I'm talking about, where he goes a bit crazy. Because
the one where he goes... He goes?
Yeah, he walks... Yeah, he's nuts. His boss was called CJ, and it was a mock... that was mocking life, and and CJ called his wife Mrs. CJ, and anyway, completely off topic. Yeah, so that tag is sort of in the back of my head, and because I don't really keep track of book covers in my head and what I think is pretty or ugly, but I know that if we are presented with some ugly book covers, that we will be able to make an excellent video out of that tag. But I just need to have a database of ugly book covers to make a joke of. So it might be September before we do that tag, but at some point we will do that tag when we're ready for it.
He's a lot more confident in that than I am.
Yeah. I mean, I might forget it exists by then, but I don't think that you should. I don't think you should feel guilty for not doing tags. Certainly, if we tag you and you just don't feel the tag, I don't care if you don't do it.
Mm. I definitely I think of tags as a little bit like call and response. I think that they're an opportunity for everyone to participate in the same conversation, for all of us to put our opinions in, and I am much more interested in the kinds of tags that are centered around that sort of like community discussion, like this one. Those are super interesting to me, but tags are also a bit of community fun, like almost like a game, but none of that is enjoyable if it feels like an obligation.
Yeah.
Not for me anyway, and so I definitely don't see them as an obligation. I think if I'm answering the actual question of how do they make me feel, it's usually quite joyful.
Yeah.
Silly, maybe silly. Is silly an emotion?
Yeah, silly is totally an emotion. It should be anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but
I do get tag envy when I see a really good tag, and Roz mentioned the nativity tag that Barb and Isabella at the font did as a...
Oh yeah, that was
hilarious. Well, the one that Simon did about our DNF tag, where he just... the effort that he went to for that tag was excellent, and I'm like, man, we're just 2 idiots sitting in front of a microphone talking shit, and people find that amusing. We're just 1 idiot and 1 rather excellent person sitting in front of a microphone.
Thanks. That's much more like it.
I know. I shouldn't have thrown myself under the bus like that.
You're so mean.
I am so mean.
I'm excellent. You're a numpty.
Yeah. Yeah, so I get envy when I see a good one, but I get envy, but I also get joy out of seeing good ones, because seeing other people do good videos is always...
That's why we watch Booktube.
That's why we watch Booktube, yeah.
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 Favourite tags. What kind of tags do you like most and least to do and to watch?
Okay, so most. I like most community discussion type tags. They do tend to be a bit more serious. But I think this little medium that we have here that we use creates a lot of one-sided conversation, and that's all well and good, but I really want to be part of a big group discussion in general, and I guess it's definitely the way that we've seen that we can get the most response to questions.
Yeah. I think discussion videos that are tag videos that is our two tags that have gone nuts. They're both discussion videos
that we've just
and
made into tags.
Did them as discussion videos, they would have got a lot of views, but nobody would have done them.
Yeah, no one would have replied. Whereas when we turn a discussion video into a tag like that, it means that everyone weighs in, and it becomes a much more interesting conversation.
So I've given ourselves a pat on the back there, but
we're not the only ones who do it.
We're not the only one. Roz has done the reread one, and this one is a good discussion one. Courtney's self-aware reader tag was an excellent one.
Yeah, the problematic authors tag was a good one.
Yeah,
there's good ones all the time. I really do enjoy them as sort of a group discussion, and the ability to respond to other people's tag, what other people have said as part of your tag. I think that's really cool.
Yes.
And I really like it when other booktubers treat it as a community discussion too. So they're my favourites to do and to watch.
Exactly, yeah. My least favourites, look, frankly...
My least favourites to do are ones that we can't just have a discussion. Like, I know that sounds really lazy, but I like to sit down unprepared, and you and I sit down unprepared and just see what happens. I think that's the best conversation that we have in response to a tag.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's a little bit more complicated and we have to go find books in advance or pre sort of research questions, or even just think about them a little bit harder, if they're not the kind of question that you can sort of unpick verbally and come to a conclusion, then I feel like our responses aren't as good. So that's probably the ones I like to do less.
Yeah. Look, when it comes to watching tags, I will watch any tag, because there are some booktubers out there who, if they filmed themselves taking a crap in a cardboard box, I would watch.
I would not.
No, I would probably give that a thumbs down.
I would not watch any of you taking a crap anywhere. Thanks.
Yeah, don't do that. That was a little bit... My brain went a bit too far. But... I'm sorry. I'm not meant to see your faces at the camera. They're meant to be private between you and the viewers, but I saw that one.
And then you catch me.
They're meant to be a delightful surprise for editing, but... Yeah, but what I mean is, some tags are rubbish, but if you give them to a good booktuber, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I totally agree. When it comes to watching them, yeah, for sure.
But there was a tag going around about with the time when we joined, and I can't remember what it was. So if this is the tag that you created, then you're rubbish. I mean, sorry, no shame. But somebody asked a question, name a book you have with deckled edges. I'm like, I couldn't give a toss.
Yeah, that's not the kind of booktubers we are. And I definitely think that tags tend to run in social circles for that sort of reason. Like, there is the when you're creating a tag, you can create questions that are irrelevant to some booktubers.
Yeah.
But and even when you're trying to be inclusive, like even the spoiler tag that we created, a couple of those questions, they don't really work if you don't care about spoilers. So they're not super inclusive questions. And if there's too many of those in a tag, then it's a bit of a flop. Yeah.
But you've got to have... I mean, one good question can make a tag.
Yes.
You know? And as I said before, you know, I just... Let's start there. But like, to really summarise, the tags I don't like are name a book with blah. If you were to theme those questions, though, you could do that really well.
I'd be much more interested in, like, let's do a tag about I don't know, like books that have twisty turny endings, or do you know what I mean? Like, and instead of name a book with, then I don't know, like I feel like you can make that more interesting.
Yeah.
Than name a book with an orange cover, like
it's completely random. I mean, it's not, but it might as well be.
Yeah.
Any book could have an orange cover. Just make it a Penguins classic. It's strange.
It's a strange way to categorize and talk about books when it's not a useful way. If I'm looking for books on Booktube, I'm not saying to myself, oh, I'd really like to read a book with an orange cover. Yeah. Like, that's not what I'm looking up. I'm looking up, you know, I really want to learn more about post-slavery infrastructure and how that limited African Americans. I really want to learn more about 1960s to 1970s feminism. I really want to learn more about eggplant.
The emoji or the fruit?
Definitely the emoji. But like, whatever it is, like that's... Or I really feel like reading something creepy. Or I really feel like reading...
I want a book that makes me laugh. I want a book that makes me think. I want a book that...
Yeah, something with a twisty-turny ending. Or something with an unreliable narrator. Like, those sort of classifications for books are interesting and useful.
Yeah, but when you're asking for a booktuber to name a book with an orange cover, name a book with deckled edges, you're saying, review a random book you like. And that leaves everything up to the booktuber. That means that I could go, none of them have orange covers.
I could totally make that video myself. That's the other thing. Like, to be part of it, to be like, for it to be a community thing, it has to create some sort of commonality, some sort of thread that is useful or interesting.
Yeah.
And to be a really good tag, it's going to be a video that you wouldn't necessarily make on your own without the tag prompts.
Yeah.
And talk about your favourite books is actually what we all do.
That's it. There are two more tag videos that I really like that I'll just quickly mention. Every now and then a video goes around which is essentially a shout out video.
Yeah, I like those.
I love share the love videos. There's always booktubers we don't watch that I would like to know about, even if I don't have time to watch them all.
That's why I hate them. But I do like them.
The other, I think probably the biggest tag video on Booktube in the last 12 months was the anti-TPR tag, and I think that there's a reason that was the biggest.
Yeah, I think like trashing books in...
But it wasn't just about trashing books. That's definitely part of it. But by trashing books, I can see what your taste in books are.
Yeah, but not just that, but let's be really critical of books. Like, let's give the reasons why we don't like them, or...
It gives the reviewer a chance to be smart, it gives them a chance to be funny, it gives them a chance for you to get to know them. That is a perfect tag video. Even if that really is one of those, it's really just name a book you don't like, name a different book you don't like in various different flavours.
Yeah, but I think by flipping the script. But even I don't mind a name a book you like. Like, name a book you like, name a different book that you do like. I think that's fine. I think when the criteria isn't even about how much you value the book, it's just arbitrary criteria.
Yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah. Wow, we talked a lot for that question.
That's a good question.
Which is, yeah, exactly. Tag styles. How do you tag? Do you have a system for keeping track of when you are tagged or tags you plan on doing? Do you prepare for a tag or just wing it? Well, I think I'm probably best to answer
at least the first half of that question.
So I have a little file on my phone that I was, all of last year I was keeping track of tags in my head, and we got tagged in like 4 tags in a week, and at the start of the year, and I realised that I couldn't do that. And that I probably forgot a whole bunch of tags
last year.
So I just keep a list on my phone, and when we want to do a tag video, I go, these are the tags we've got. I do the same thing for buddy reads, but that was only after I'm relatively sure I've forgotten about a few people. So sorry if I've forgotten about you. But I think I've got everybody. But yeah, what was the second part of it? Do you prepare?
Or do you wing it?
Well, I definitely read the questions before we film and then decide whether I need to prepare or wing it.
Yeah, I definitely lean heavily towards wing it. I much prefer the conversation that Scott and I have if we wing it. Otherwise, sometimes it feels a bit...
When we first started Booktube, we would discuss what videos we wanted to film, and we would end up having the discussion that we should have had in front of the camera in a cafe or at the breakfast table or wherever we would have our...
Wherever we were eating.
Because
we always have these conversations over food.
Yeah. It used to be a routine before COVID. We would go to the local cafe and we would have brunch and we would discuss what videos we would film in the afternoon,
and often have those conversations in that conversation, which often meant that what you guys got was an edited, abbreviated, not as fleshed out version of the conversation. I definitely think that we go into more detail and we are more interesting when the filmed version is the first version. And if we sit here and go, I don't know, whatever, which doesn't happen often, Scott just cuts it out.
Yeah, or in very rare cases, I completely cull video.
Yeah, that does happen, but not super often.
Yeah, that does, and I'd actually encourage booktubers to do that if they're not feeling good about a video. Just there's no shame, like we do it.
Yeah,
and I'm sure there are other channels that do it, but yeah. Tag memories. Of the tags you have watched, done or created, which have stuck in your memory, and are there any you would like to revisit or revive?
I think for me the DNF tag is a bit memorable. That was something that we were a very small channel when we did the DNF tag, and the response that it got was completely unexpected, and really exciting. It made me feel much more a part of the community to see how many responses that tag got.
Well, you wrote that tag on your own. It was your idea to do it. It was your creative baby. And you showed me the questions, and I can't remember if I suggested adding one or anything, but I think I might have suggested tagging people at the end of it. That might have been my
potentially.
But so it was really nice to see it take off. But I think there's a reason it was popular. I think if you go back to discussion videos, it is a discussion that people like to have. They like to, why do you DNF?
I was really surprised there wasn't a DNF tag already when I created it, because I did feel like it was a bit of a Booktube favourite topic. So,
yeah. I mean, that certainly stands out to me too.
Yeah, as far as memorable tags, that's one of them.
And I think that tag is probably single-handedly responsible for 100 subs,
Yeah, it's definitely made a huge difference to how big our channel is.
Yeah. So I would encourage anybody who would like to grow their channel a bit, start an original tag.
It is a great way to get seen by the community Yeah.
Especially, I like to think that we fit into a couple of different Booktube cliques. I don't like that term, but...
No.
But there are definitely cliques in Booktube, and I like to think that we aren't just in one of those cliques, and I feel like we're more in one of those cliques than the other two, and I really like that clique, but I would like to...
Branch out a bit more,
exactly. So it's a good way to move cliques, if that makes sense.
Yeah, see people, have people outside of your normal circle see you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of the best channels we watch and some of the best friends we've made on Booktube are because of the DNF tag. So, make your own tags. People is like just for making friends, make your own tags, because that's if you're starting the kind of conversation you'd like to have, then you're gonna find like-minded people and make friends. Yeah. There is another tag that I wish would go a bit nuts. It's the book pusher tag. We did it 8 months ago, maybe. It was created by Sam at Paper Not Books, and
it was actually quite a good tag.
It was a decent tag, and Sam tagged us in her original, and we were the only one of the people she tagged in it to do it. And then everybody we tagged didn't see it, ignored it, didn't want to do it, whatever, and that's it. So only 2 people have ever done that tag. And
there you go. So if you're looking for a tag that got underdone and is
it was back when I was making dumb thumbnails, but the thumbnails, a whole bunch of people putting with a book in their hand, looking at our face.
I'll just link it in the show notes.
Oh yeah, that's much easier. Duh. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all the questions. But is there anything else you want to add on tags? Because I think they're a fantastic way to meet new people, and when you find a tag that you enjoy watching, you should search for that tag and watch
multiple people's conversations. Yeah.
Yeah, I think in Booktube we tend to watch the same bunch of channels, however many. It might be 3 for you, it might be 50 for you, but
yeah,
you tend to watch the same channels, and sometimes it's good to... There are so many good channels out there that you will never know about if you don't try them.
I guess that's one of the things that I would encourage people to do. If you really like a tag and think it's a really interesting conversation, watch a few other people's responses to it so that you can actually reply to what other people have said and be part of a more dynamic conversation rather than just talking at a camera and having one-sided thoughts. I think that's something that makes tag videos more interesting and more layered is when booktubers refer to other booktubers' responses, and then you end up going and looking at that video and then getting, sort of down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah. Now, Roz has made a criminal mistake with her tag video here. She's not put in a prompt to tag people. So...
That's silly.
That's silly. So what I'm going to do is...
Oh, that's what I want to say. Do you know what I really like it when they do? When people do when they make tags? I really like it when they put the tag prompt first.
What do you...
instead of last.
Oh, we put it last. When we...
I know, but it should go first, because that means the shout out is first up, which means it gets the most... because people drop off as the video progresses, so that means that the shout out bit that mentions other channels gets the most views.
No, I think you should shout out the creator and who tagged you first, and then separately you should shout out whoever you're tagging.
Yeah.
And I think that you should... I think that when you're tagging people, you shouldn't just go, I tag Joe, right?
You know, I do think that you should give a little bit of a channel description and say, you know...
Yeah, let people know about these channels. If you're tagging them, you like them, you want them to be successful, you know.
You want people to know why they're going there and watching whatever.
Yeah, and let's face it, everybody on Booktube, even like Read with Cindy, is undersubscribed. You know?
Yeah.
Like, everybody should have tenfold the subs they have at least.
But we live in a world of illiterate scum.
That's true. I don't know why I'm laughing. I should be crying at that. That's actually really depressing.
It is. Sorry. Can we elevate the mood by tagging some folk?
Yeah, okay. I'm going to tag some different folks, yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Because speaking of shouting out, I'd like to draw some attention to some really good channels. Firstly, let's draw some attention to Rosie Cockshut. Rosie, if you've seen her around, she usually wears purple lipstick. She's a great new channel. She is one of these...
That's a weird thing for you to be noticing.
No, it's her brand. She's purple.
Oh, I was... because she's got the most magnificent hair.
She does. But
anyway.
It's her branding. It's purple.
Okay.
Yeah, she's one of these book omnivores that reads everything. She's great.
Yeah.
And she can make you laugh as well. Like,
yeah. Perfect.
And like only like 150 odd subs.
Rude.
Alright, who else do I have? I had a list in my head I should have written down. I'd like to tag Heidi at My Reading Life. I'm really enjoying Heidi. She is well bigger than us in size, but...
she has really disruptive cat.
She does.
Which it just makes my day.
Yeah, and again, she has really interesting taste in books. Quite a lot of literary fiction in there, but also genre fiction and a bit of non-fiction. And I'm going to tag Anna Wallace-Johnson. If you haven't seen her channel yet, check her out. She reads hardcore literary fiction. She's young and she's funny and a breath of fresh air. And
a breath of fresh air.
She's like... she should be reading like YA, but she's reading like really like
grown up stuff.
So I really enjoy that anachronism.
Mm-hmm. A breath of fresh air.
And lastly, I'd like to tag Bethann Brunica-Sakala. Bethann is brilliant. I think we have spoken about her before, but
yes.
Bethann reads fantasy, she reads non-fiction, she reads literary fiction, she reads everything. Another book omnivore, and so smart, funny, just and a criminally undersubscribed channel. I think Bethann only has about 150 subs.
Wrong.
Too. And Anna Wallace-Johnson only has like 50 subs, so I've picked some really tiny channels.
Good.
So check out all 4 of those channels, but 3 of them are tiny, so hopefully everybody that's watching knows about Heidi, but everybody else
can
check
subscribe.
out the
bump those numbers.
Bump the numbers up. Some really good channels there. So yeah, that's the tag about tags that's really meta.
I enjoyed that. That was fun. Thanks, Roz.
Yeah, thanks, Roz. Roz was really nice when she mentioned us in the tag. She said that we were the king and queen of tags, which I thought was super narcissistic of us.
It was so cheeky. And it's really stuck. I'm going to get us crowns made.
Yeah, I gave us crowns in the video.
Did you? I really should watch more of our videos after you've edited them. Because I know you do silly things that make me laugh.
Yeah. It's good. Sorry. Yeah.
Don't be... They love it.
They love it. Sorry, I got distracted by us in the photograph. I was being...
Like, oh, who's that pretty people?
Yeah. Sorry, that was a bad joke about us being narcissists.
I was just being narcissistic.
So I really appreciate Roz. In fact, all of Booktube for our spoilers sake, like, yeah, they're awesome at tags. And I'm like, man, you just say it and people believe you, right?
Yes. How do you think Sean became the Empress of Bale?
But
he declared it.
But he bails on everything too.
I don't think that matters. I think his declaration is what made it so.
Right. So I like to challenge everybody to tell us what they are and have Booktube run with it. Because,
yes! Declare your channel's identity. What are you?
Man, this is just rambling now. Oh my god, this video's gone on for so long.
Okay, I love you. Bye-bye!
Bye.
I'm gonna dance.
You gonna dance?
Yeah.